The Railway Series, Book Number 23, Enterprising Engines, written by the Reverend Wilbert Awdry, with illustrations by Gunvor and Peter Edwards. Dear Richard, do you remember the photographs you took of what happened to your train on the way to Waterloo in April 1967? Your mother, very kindly, gave me a set and they helped our artist to draw at least 2 of the pictures for Super Rescue. Anyway, Super Rescue is the story which your pictures told me. I hope you will enjoy it, and the other 3 stories as well. The author. The author gratefully acknowledges the ready help given by Flying Scotsman's owner, Mr. A.F. Pegler, and his assistant, Mr. E. Hoyle, in the preparation for this book. Story number 1. Tenders for Henry. I'm not happy, complained Gordon. Your firebox is out of order, said James. No wonder, after all that coal you had yesterday. Hard work brings good appetite, snapped Gordon. You wouldn't understand. I know, put in Duck brightly. It's boiler ache. I warned you about that stoned pipe on the other railway, but you drank gallons. It's not boiler ache, protested Gordon. It's... Of course it is, said Henry. That water's bad. It furs up your tubes. Your boiler must be full of sludge. Have a good washout. Then you'll feel a different engine. Don't be vulgar, said Gordon huffily. Gordon backed down on his train, hissing mournfully. Cheer up, Gordon, said the Fat Controller. I can't, sir. The other engines say I've got boiler ache, but I haven't. Sir, I keep thinking about the dreadful state of the world. Sir, is it true, sir, what the diesels say? What do they say? They boast that they've abolished steam, sir. Yes, Gordon, it is true. What, sir? All my Doncaster brothers, drawn at the same time as me? All gone, except one. The guard's whistle blew, and Gordon puffed sadly away. Poor old Gordon, said the Fat Controller. If only we could... Yes, I'll ask his owner at once. He hurried away. Arrangements took time, but one evening, Gordon's driver ran back excited. Wake up, Gordon, the Fat Controller's given you a surprise. Look! Gordon could hardly believe it. Backing towards him were 2 massive green tenders, and their engine shape was very much like his own. It's the Flying Scotsman, he gasped. The Fat Controller's brought him to see me. Oh, thank you, sir. Gordon's toot of joy was drowned by Flying Scotsman's as he drew happily alongside. Next day, the 2 engines were photographed side by side. You've changed a lot, smiled Flying Scotsman. I had a rebuild at Crewe. They didn't do a proper Doncaster job, of course, but it serves. I had a rebuild too, and looked hideous, but my owner said I was an extra special engine and made them give me back my proper shape. Is that why you have 2 tenders, being special? No, you'd hardly believe it, Gordon, but over there, they've hardly any coal and water. But surely every proper railway... Exactly. You are lucky, Gordon, to have a controller who knows how to run railways. Everyone got on well with Flying Scotsman, except Henry. Henry was jealous. Tenders are a mark of distinction, he complained. Everybody knows that. Why's he got 2? He's famous, explained Duck and Donald. He's the second to go 100 miles an hour. Besides, the other railway have no coal and water. Poof, sniffed Henry. I can't believe that. I never boast, he continued, but I always work hard enough for 2. I deserve another tender for that. Duck whispered something to Donald. Henry, asked Duck innocently, would you like my tenders? Yours? Exclaimed Henry. What have you got to do with tenders? All right, said Duck. The deal's off. Would you like them, Donald? I wouldn't deprive you of the honour. It is a great honour, said Duck thoughtfully, but I'm only a tank engine, so I don't really understand tenders. Perhaps James might... I'm sorry I was rude, said Henry hastily. How many tenders have you, and where could I get them? 6, and you can have them this evening. 6 lovely tenders, chortled Henry. What a splendid sight I'll be. That'll show the other engines the sort of engine I am. Henry was excited. Do you think it'll be alright? He asked for the umpteenth time. Of course, said Doug. Just go where I told you, and they'll be all ready. Meanwhile, word had gone round, and the others waited where they could get a good view. Henry was cheered to the echo when he came, but he wasn't a splendid sight. He had 6 tenders, true, but they were very old and very dirty. All were filled with boiler sludge. Have a good wash out, Henry, called a voice. That's right, you'll feel a different engine now. Henry was not sure, but he thought the voice was Gordon's. Story number 2, Super Rescue. The 2 diesels surveyed the shed. "It's time, 7101, said one, that we took this railway over. Shush, 199, it's their railway after all." "Not for long," persisted 199. "Our controller says steam engines spoil our image." "Of course we do," snapped Duck. "We show what frauds you are. Call yourself engines. If anything happens, you can nothing buy your train. You just moan for a fitter. We bring it home, if only on one cylinder." "Nothing," boasted 199, "ever happens to us. We are reliable." Vulgar noises greeted this. "How rude," said 199. "You asked for it," growled 7101. "Now shut up." Next day, Henry was rolling home, tender first. "I'm a failed engine," he moaned. "Lost my regulator. Driver says it's jammed wide open and he can't mend it till I'm cool. However," he went on, "I've got steam and driver can use my reverser, but it would happen after Duck fooled me with those tenders. Now they will laugh at me again." He reached a signal box and stopped, whistling for a road. Opposite the box, on the up line, stood Diesel 199 with a train of oil tankers. "Worse and worse," thought Henry. "No old reliable will laugh at me too." The signalman came out. "For pity's sake, take this spam can away. It's failed. The limited is behind, and all he does is well for his fitter." "Spam can?" fumed 199. "I'm stow it," snapped the signalman, "or I'll take my tin opener to you. Now then." 199 subsided to the dreadful threat, and Henry pulled the train out of the way. The diesel didn't help. He just sulked. The limited rushed by with a growl and a roar. Henry gave a chuckle. "Look, Spamcan," he said, "there's your little pal." The diesel said nothing. He hoped 7101 hadn't noticed. 7101 hadn't noticed. He had troubles of his own. He was cross with his coaches. They seemed to be getting heavier. He roared at them, but it did no good. Engines have a pump called an ejector, which draws air out of the train's brakes to keep the brakes on. If it fails, air leaks in and the brakes come on gently at first, then harder and harder. 7101's ejector had failed. The brakes were already leaking on when he passed Henry. He struggled on for half a mile before being brought to a stand, growling furiously, unable to move a wheel. "Well, well, well, do you hear what Signalman said? I thought they'd be laughing at me," chuckled Henry. "Now the joke's on them." "Moving 2 diesels and their trains," said his driver thoughtfully. "That's no joke for a failed engine. Do you think you can do it?" "I'll have a good try," said Henry with spirit. "Anyway, 7101's better than old Spam can. He did try and shut him up last night." "Come on then," said his driver. "We mustn't keep the passengers waiting." "Get moving, you!" Henry puffed the sulky diesel into motion and started to the rescue. Henry gently buffered up to the express. While the 2 drivers talked, his fireman joined his front brake pipe to the coaches. "It's better than we thought, Henry," said his driver. "The diesel can pull if we keep the brakes off, so the only way we'll have is Spamcan's goods." "Whoosh," said Henry. "That's a mercy." He was, by now, feeling rather puffed. "Boop, boop, boop. Are you ready?" tooted 7101. "Peep, peep, peep. Yes, I am," whistled Henry. So, with 7101 growling in front and Henry gamely puffing in the middle, the long cavalcade set out for the next big station. Donald and Flying Scotsman were waiting. They cheered as Henry puffed past. He braked the coaches thankfully. Spamcan and the tankers trailed far behind. The passengers buzzed out like angry bees, but the Fat Controller told them about Henry, so they forgot to be cross and thanked Henry instead. They called him an enterprising engine and took his photograph. They were thrilled too when Flying Scotsman backed down onto their train. If the guard hadn't tactfully shooed them to their coaches, the train would have started later than ever. Donald took the goods. "Return Run 99 to the other railway," ordered the Fat Controller. "I'll write my views later." Henry and 7101 went away together. "I'm sorry about last night," ventured the diesel. "That's all right. You did shut old Reliable up." "And," said the diesel ruefully, "made a fool of myself today too." "Rubbish! A failed ejector might happen to anyone. I lost my regulator." "You failed?" exclaimed the diesel. "And yet—" His voice trailed away in admiration. "Well," said Henry, "emergency, you know. Trains must get through." 7101 said no more. He had a lot to think about. Story number 3. Escape. Douglas had taken the midnight goods to a station on the other railway. He was shunting ready for his return journey when he heard a faint hiss. "That sounds like an engine," he thought. The hiss came again. This time it sounded almost despairing. "Who's there?" he asked. A whisper came. "Are you a Fat Controller's engine?" "I am proud of it." "Thank goodness. I'm Oliver. We're escaping to your railway, but we've run out of coal and have no more steam." "Is it from scrap you're escaping?" "Yes." "Then it's glad I'll be to help ye, but we maun work fast." Both crews joined in. They took off Oliver's side rods, wrote out transit labels, and shot scrap everywhere they could. Douglas marshalled Oliver in front of his train. "No time to turn around," he panted. "I maun run tender first." "Yoo-hoo! Yoo-hoo!" yelled a passing diesel. "A steam is escaping! A yoo-hoo!" Douglas puffed firmly on. "Take no notice," he counselled, but they were stopped before they could clear the station road. A foreman's lamp shone on Oliver. "Aha!" he exclaimed. "A Western engine!" His light flickered further back. "A Western auto coach and a goods brake too. You can't take these." "Can we not?" said Douglas's driver. "They're all for us. See for yourself." Douglas's guard showed him the labels and papers. Oliver's crew, hiding in the coach, hardly dared to breathe. "Seems in order," said the foreman grudgingly, "but it's queer." "Sure, and it is," began the guard, "but I could tell you queerer." "So could I," interrupted the foreman. "Right away, guard." "A near thing," puffed Douglas with relief. "We've had worse," smiled Oliver. "We ran at night. Friendly signalmen would pass us from box to box when no trains were about. We got on well, until Control heard about a mystery train. Then they tried to hunt us down." "What did you do?" "A signalman let us hide on an old quarry branch. Driver, fireman and guard blocked the cutting of rubbish, and levered one of the approach rails away. We stayed there for days, with diesels baying and growling like hounds outside. I was very frightened then." "Small blame to you," said Douglas feelingly. Presently they rumbled over the bridge and onto the Fat Controller's railway. "We're home. They can't catch you now." "Tell Isabel and Toad, please." Douglas called out the news, and heard a joyful ting-a-ling-a-ling, ting-a-ling-a-ling. He was surprised. Oliver chuckled. "That's Isabel," he said. "There's a bell on her, you see. She's clever. When we go out together, I pull one way and push the other. When I pull, I can see ahead. When I push, I can't. So Isabel keeps a good lookout and rings her bell to talk to me." "You dinna say." Douglas was impressed. "About this Toad," he continued. "Is he—" "Hold your waist," said his driver. "Yon's the works. We mauna slip in unbeknownst and find a place for Oliver." Douglas tried hard to be quiet, but the night foreman heard them and had to be told their secret. "I know just the place," he said, and showed them an empty siding nicely hidden away. Oliver said goodbye and thank you, and Douglas puffed away. "Yon's an enterprising engine," he thought. "I'll run away here with Donald, but I'd have been fair to do it on me own." Story number 4. Little Western. Douglas arrived back in time to see the Flying Scotsman take the enthusiast home. The Fat Controller said that they were all honoured and thanked Flying Scotsman and his owner for their help. "Please tell everyone," he went on, "that whatever happens elsewhere, steam will be safe at work here. We shall be glad to welcome all who wants to see and travel behind real engines." This announcement was greeted with cheers, and Flying Scotsman departed to the strains of "Will Ye No Come Back Again," led by, as one might expect, by Donald and Douglas. At last, Douglas could tell his news. They were all excited about it, and agreed that something must be done for Oliver. "I'm feared," said Donald. "Some murdering diesel may creep in and leave him there all alone, lacking steam even to whistle for help." "You're right," said James. "He won't be safe till the Fat Controller knows." "Douglas should tell him at once," said Gordon firmly. "Is it me speak to the Fat Controller? It's forward he'd think me and maybe interfering." "Well, here he is," said a cheerful voice. "Now, what's this all about?" Doug broke the awkward silence. "Beg pardon, sir, but we do need another engine." "I agree, Doug. That's why I'm giving 7101 another chance." Their faces showed such dismay that the Fat Controller had difficulty with his own. "Sir," ventured Gordon at last, "we had hoped for a real engine." "They," said the Fat Controller gravely, "are rare, and unless one escapes, there's little hope." "But sir," burst out Donald, "one has. And, thanks to Douglas, is now at our works," announced the Fat Controller. "Sir," gasped Douglas, "is there anything you don't know?" "More than you think," he laughed. "Oliver's crew told me all you did. Douglas," "Och, sir, you couldnae see a braw wee engine and leave him in trouble, nor do our wheels turn. More than our wheels turn, I fancy, Douglas. I'm pleased with you. Oliver, Isabel, and Toad will soon be ours. Oliver and Isabel are just what we need for Doug's branch line." Loud cheers greeted this announcement. "And Toad wants to be your brakeman, Douglas." "Oh, thank you, sir. I'd hoped for that. He and I will do brawly together." That, of course, made everyone right. Henry spoke a good word for 7101, and the others gave him a welcome. He had good manners for a start, so Henry didn't find it hard to teach him our ways. 7101 finds them different from those on the other railway, but much more interesting. He is now quite a useful engine. They teased him at first because of his growls. They said he was like a bear. He still growls, but not because he is cross, but because he can't help it. His name Bear has stuck. He likes it. "It's much nicer than just a number," he says. "Having a number means you really belong." The Fat Controller soon had Oliver, Isabel, and Toad mended and painted in full Great Western colours. Then he rescued 3 more Western Order coaches. 2, Alice and Mirabelle, he gave to Duck. The third, Dulcie, joined Oliver and Isabel. Duck and Oliver are happy on their branch line. It runs along the coast to the small railway. "We reopened branches," they boast. They are very proud of this indeed. The others laughed at first and called their branch line the Little Western. Duck and Oliver were delighted, and now no one ever thinks of calling it anything else. The end.